words that capture Kenyans' attention this morning: Galana Kulalu. My goodness, the revelations that came out of that Senate committee yesterday, absolutely shocking. 500 million shillings to clear bushes in a different area from where the money was supposed to be used for is something that's happening today. And an interesting SMS from someone who says that the focus is dwelling a lot more on the politics rather than the technical. So we want to find out how we can balance a bit of those, talk about the politics, but also talk about the technical issues that bedevil that project as well. Honorable Midio, you had some thoughts before we took the break. We can allow you to weigh in on those at the moment.
I don't know nothing about the technical.
Okay.
I am
layman.
Honorable Kiro is a farmer.
Okay.
He will tell you. But first of all, let me clarify, because the governor seemed to have been saying that I was saying that that part of our country does not deserve funding. I did not say that. I just said that we needed to assist the farmer. Like you see in one of the dailies today, you see there's a breakout of armyworms in the North Rift. And the government always, this thing happens every other year, and the government is caught helpless. Because, and they will, I can even tell you before the end of the day, they will say they don't have money. That means there is no contingency plans. So, Mheshimiwa, I believe that for Kenya to move from where it is economically, there must be massive investment in Coast Province and Nyanza and Western provinces. Those are the unexplored, fertile areas of this country. You must put money in Lake Victoria. You must put money, especially in Kilifi and Tana River. I spend a lot of time in Malindi nowadays. I see the potentiality. The potential is huge. It can feed us. So I don't want to be misunderstood. I just know that the government has no policies. You know, I come from Sierra County, where Mzungu came and did all the reclamation of Yala Swamp. 5,700 hectares of land. And now the Mzungu is gone. Now some crook is growing sugarcane there in a swamp. And it has not gone through public participation. Our people are dying. Women cannot hold pregnancies. You cannot keep any animal around the swamp because of the chemicals the Mzungu used, because of lack of government regulation. And we are faced with an incapable county government. Galana Kulalu belongs to the people of Tana River and Kilifi County. In this case, this project was never meant to benefit the locals. The Israelis were coming to grow and live with the maize. And it's a highly mechanized farm where the locals are not factored in. So you can see that somebody was trying to do it wrong from the word go. Because what should have happened, it happened when at the inception of devolution. Yeah. Why did we take that money and give it to Tana County and work with them even though the devolution was new? Why didn't we force the Israelis to use Godhana's county as a pilot to be a little Israel? You know, you think outside the box if you want to help people. You know, why somebody has spoken about technical. We know we don't have the technical capacity, but we could have imported the technical capacity in Tana River. It's a beautiful place. It's much better than the desert where the Israelis live. They could have lived there. We would be having another part of our country which has been brought to the 21st century.
Do you place any blame on the local leadership?
No, no, I don't. It was rammed down their throats.
So what questions should they be asking now? The governor is here. What questions do you want him to be asking now?
In fact, I don't expect him to ask too many questions, except hand over the project to the counties. Yeah. That is theirs. It is the same issue we are having with sugar growing. Somebody is now busy trying to privatize sugar plantations, while agriculture in that aspect is a county affair. I insist that they must first of all do asset transfer of Galana Kulalu to these counties. As I insist, you must transfer Sony Sugar, Mumias Sugar, to the counties. Then we give them technical support.
Okay.
The thinking of our constitution is that national government is left to do policy. The same way I saw the DP the other day when the World Bank gave money for water.
Yeah.
They said the issues of procurement and all those are going to go to Marsabit, Moyale, where the money is going to. Take this money away from Nairobi.
Okay.
Let us then deal with it in devolution, and hopefully in the devolved units, and hopefully the governors will inculcate good governance.
And work
So
better.
Yeah.
Okay. Kipruto, what do you make of it? Is that a solution? Should this then just be left to the counties from your perspective? Because you're also a farmer and you've also been a minister. How do we resuscitate this project? Because it's slipping out after having paid 5.9 billion shillings.
Yeah, one, I think the national government should still be in charge of policy, but allow the operations to go to the counties, but midwife the process. You see, even the devolution at its own onset, even up to now, has not been properly grafted, in the sense that we just devolved certain units, but we never devolved the personnel, and we never midwifed the process. Because you cannot just tell people, governor, go run your county without the necessary support in terms of even auditing, in terms of processes that are supposed to take place. Today, we have double personnel in any county, including Tana River, where you have somebody employed by the national government and somebody employed by the office of the governor.
Doing the same job.
Doing the same job, almost duplicating everything. So when it comes to the issues of agriculture, devolve it. Not only devolve it, but allow participation of farmers. You cannot pretend that you can do everything from the center, like from Miss Quarters. When there are so many farmers at the fringes, they must be involved. They become security and they become managers of those particular programs. Number two, research is an ongoing process. You cannot just do research and say this is going to be done and it is complete. You must do evaluation as the program is being implemented. Finally, I just wanted to correct Mheshimiwa Mediwo. The minister was in charge of that particular one. He's not the ambassador, because it was not domiciled in the Ministry of Agriculture. It was domiciled in the Ministry of Water and Irrigation. And even now, I think it's still domiciled in that particular ministry.
Then minister was Eugene Wamalwa.
I don't know. I can't remember because I was not one of them.
No, just name them, but I stand corrected. Name them.
I know that he has spoken about this issue,
Yes.
and I think I've even hosted him to have a discussion.
Yes,
on Galana
it
Kulalu.
was Eugene Wamalwa. It was not Bet.
I stand
Okay.
corrected.
Yes.
Okay, so okay.
Yes, but at the end of it, you must integrate that particular project. If you just say you are producing maize and you are not talking of what are the derivatives that you get from maize, then you are not assisting the local community. Because as Mheshimiwa Governor said, these are people who are agro-pastoralists. Now, when you are dealing with livestock and you are dealing with maize, you must have some kind of integration, so that whatever you are producing from maize, the leftovers, you can also feed into livestock, such that they run in tandem. But when you just isolate and you do it the way they have done it, they will get it wrong. Because the calculation that I did the other day is that they produced one bag of maize at 800,000 shillings, which is too high. Because 800,000 shillings. If the cost of production of one bag of maize was 800,000 shillings.
800,000 one bag?
Yeah, to produce one bag. Given it's not practical.
Given what
because
was sunk into the project.
What was sunk in the project and the maize that came, even if you are to take it for another 10 years, it is not going to be economically viable. What you should do is do it in phases and also manage it and allow the people of that particular area to participate.
Would it have been better to empower the small-scale food producers so that we have a big agricultural productivity?
I think it should have been done in small scale, then you upscale it. As you make successes, you are able to remedy where you make mistakes, and you also expand with the necessary capacity without going just for 10,000 acres, hoping that you are going to make it a success.
But even that seems to have a problem, because initially the budget for subsidized fertilizers was at 5 billion, now it's been reduced to 3 billion. So we then just
even this fertilizer subsidy is a mirage.
It is also another
You
mirage.
cannot
Mirage.
get...
Again.
Yeah, it's a mirage
Another
because
mirage. My
you go to
goodness.
Kitale, go to Uasin not many farmers get that subsidized fertilizer. It ends up in the dealers, and the dealers reback it and they sell it to farmers. That's why many officers of National Cereals and Produce Board have been taken to court.
So the word subsidized does not even apply there.
It doesn't
Because then-
apply, but it should
the farmers-
actually be done like the old ways, where we are giving what we call guaranteed minimum returns. And even the fuel that was used at that time was laced with certain color, so that you know this is for production of maize or whatever. So that diesel for farmers was different from diesel for other consumers, so that you fully subsidize and you get rid of corruption. As long as corruption is still in town, you are not likely to make a lot of success from farming. And farming cannot be done by government. It should be done by farmers.
It should be done by farmers. Governor, come in. Two theories about what happened at Galana Kulalu. Theory one, poor strategy, over-ambitious project, etc. Theory two, cartels. You said you're coming to that.
Yes.
You have the opportunity now. What role could cartels have played?
Yeah, you can name them.
I want you to name them.
I want you to name
We still don't have names, to be very honest.
But in what ways?
But we were also questioning ourselves.
Yes.
Who's this land? Who could be the owner of this land that NIB first started bush clearing? And we are investigating, and one day we'll name these people. we'll name them in broad daylight.
Governor, it's in your county. You would know who the owners are.
But two, there are many other things here. And I'm coming to a bit of the political. Apart from the bush clearing, the timelines that were set for the project to commence were messed up again by NIB. According to the research, the weather patterns and the soils and all that was supposed now to take place within certain timelines. We do 2 seasons. So if you clash one, Tana and Kilifi are not like, we do 2 seasons in a year. So if you clash one, you enter into the other. So they messed up the implementation from the beginning. Second, they removed part of the equipments that are critical to make up the projects a success. The fertigators, they removed them. So the person that was talking about technical, the technical part was properly researched and handled by the people that were invited to do the research, and the design was made that way. But the worst, again, the other political thing that was brought in is that the people of Tana and Kilifi were to benefit from scholarship of 3,000 students to go to Israel
To study,
to study, come back,
be employed.
and start now, so that the Israelis can be a shadow, and then we take off. So the capacity building program for the 2 counties to benefit, and this was part of the CSR, was again lifted. And then other people now are brought from elsewhere. And we asked that question yesterday.
And were taken for those training
How
programs.
many? Yeah, they were taken, and some of them are in town here in Nairobi. Others are all over the country.
No.
So none of the students that were taken there under that scholarship program come from Tana or Kilifi.
This is something you have proof of.
Yes,
These are facts.
we have. We asked the PS yesterday to give us names of the people. He says, and they started whispering around there, and they said we can confirm, we can mention about 15
From Tana.
from both counties. 15.
7-7.
7-7 or 7-8. But I can confirm, I don't know any of those people that has gone to Israel to study. Neither governor of Kilifi can. That's why we were saying there's a lot of politics there that is coming into play to haunt us.
And also, speaking of politics and reality, in 2015, some of the farmers in Tana River were told that their loans would be waived.
Yes.
And now they've received demand letters from banks saying that they have to pay
67.5 million.
What is this?
That's Bura irrigation farmers.
Who told them that their bills would be waived, and how come now they're being asked to pay back?
It was the government.
When you say government, there must have been a pronouncement
government
by a specific individual.
I was told the government represented by the DP promised during the campaign that it will be waived. Unfortunately, that has not happened. But I was again appealing to government, because looking at why those farmers have now gotten into a debt is not their mistake. It's the mistake of the players within the market. AFC, NIB. So there's another another organization called SIDCO, Kenya Seeds. Because now NIB took over a bit of the roles, the functions of farmers. They are now the financiers. They are now the people to provide machinery. They have taken over market. They have taken over pricing. They have taken over storage. They have taken over transport.
Some of the issues.
Now, as they were taking over that, and this is a series of setbacks to those farmers from 2013. From 2013 to last year, to this year.
What will happen now?
So even your small-scale farmers are struggling. Galana Kulalu is failing. How do we sort this out?
Ombija, the farmers in Bura Irrigation Scheme and Hola, whom we expect that they would be the one producing food for us, are being fed. Now we have to get food to them instead of them producing for us.
And themselves.
Because of mistakes of varieties of seeds. Like now, one of the varieties that went there and it has brought serious problems is a seed that was said to have done well in Zambia and in Tanzania and some parts of Nigeria and Congo. So it's called 519.
That is a frustrated laugh.
That is why it's called 519.
519.
Yes, 519.
And it did not work in this country.
It went there, and at the end of the day, the maize grew up very well, very nicely. And the crops were very, I think the minister can confirm how these crops normally grow. But then inside, you find some bits of grains, the whole cob, 10 pieces of them, 1.5 acres. One farmer was saying, he harvested 1.5 bags out of 1.5 acres.
1.5 bags out of 1.5 acres?
Yes, out of 1.5 acres.
Goodness.
And that is the chairman of the cooperative.
Okay. We're getting a lot of feedback, and we'll be looking at your tweets right now. Let me get a quick answer from you, Honorable Kirwa. A farmer here, Harun Washira, who's actually keenly watching this program, is asking, instead of providing farmers with subsidized inputs like fertilizer, because there seems to have been cartels also around that, why not pay farmers a higher price than market rate for their produce and then sell it subsidized to millers? Would that work?
Well, the same cartels will catch up with us. But the most important...
There's no way out of this.
Yeah, because it's also important that we look at the supply and the demand of the same, and of course the pricing. Because yes, you can subsidize. If subsidy is properly managed, we will never go wrong. We tried before and it worked. It's only that I think something has happened in terms of governance at the National Cereals and Produce Board, because even in the past it used to happen. You used to get seeds from Kenya Seed Company, and through KFA you get fertilizer, you go farming, then you supply your maize either to KFA or to National Cereals and Produce Board, and it is a check-off system would be used. Now, the other issue is affordable credit to farmers. Today, as we talk, AFC is not lending to farmers as it used to do, because at some stage we had to sell the place now with School of Law to get some money, and we built that until we were lending 5 billion to farmers for purposes of ensuring that they get some credit. Because, you know, farming, you get only 16% as profit. So even a big farmer let's say with 10,000 acres, the profit margin is very small. Therefore, farmers from year in, year out, they need support in terms of that. Number three, it is also important that we zone the country in terms of cropping. We cannot just plant maize all over. There are some regions like Pwani hybrid used to do well at the coast, and I would have expected that should have been the seed that was going to be used there. But also research must be continuous.
Yeah.
You see, after devolution and saying we've devolved the agriculture, there is no money going to research institutions. I meet my former officers and they tell me they don't have money to do research. So whatever is happening is that Kilimo is just there as a shell.
Yeah.
There is no connection between Kilimo and the grassroots. And there is no effective midwifing of the process to support the governor, so that the governor, with this Minister of Agriculture, can move to various corners of the county with effective information and dissemination to farmers. Extension is supposed to be listen to the farmer.
Yeah.
That is rule number one of extension. Listen to the farmer. Once you listen to the farmer, he will give you solutions to the problem, and he will give you problems, and when you solve those problems, the farmer will be happy and productivity will be higher.
Okay.
But when you pretend that you can do farming from Kilimo House or National Education Board, that is not farming.
All right, there's a lot of feedback coming through. Jacoy, I'll come to you later on, but let's see some of your SMSs and tweets coming through to our newsrooms real quick.
Abdallah Mdambo, Galana Kulalu was a political project, zero feasibility studies. The only beneficiary were brokers, politicians plus brokers equals corruption. I think there were some studies.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Israelis
it's the
did their
implementation
own.
that is what the
But,
problem is. The studies
who
were
knows
there, it
at
looked like
this
a
point?
good project. Chege Maingi, maize importers cartels will not allow good projects like Galana Kulalu to survive.
Okay.
All right, so those are the cartels we were talking about earlier
Waf
on.
Roms, my goodness, says, while lots of statements are being thrown about the feasibility research, I would like to know whether the National Irrigation Board undertook any studies. They're the irrigation authority in Kenya, and I think we should have them on the show.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
look
have
for
them
them.
here. Chola Kisilu says food security is paramount. NYS has done it in the past. In Hola, it produced 1 million bags of maize. It's in record. Idle manpower and machinery is lying at NYS. Task this department and you will see results in 4 months.
All right, Easy254, making food security a reality in Kenya will definitely require accountability from the parties involved and giving farmers a reason to start planting again. Most of our farm produce ends up getting spoiled since no one cares out there.
All right,
out
let's
here.
Indeed.
All right, there's more SMSs coming through to our newsrooms. Let's read a few of them before we take that quick break. The first one here is from Ali Hola. Says Galana Kulalu is a milking cow for NIB top management. Those companies doing bush clearing are owned by NIB top management. Heads must roll.
I hope Ali Hola has that proof. Those are very strong statements to make, which we have not verified.
And governor has not confirmed who's clearing the land. Whose land that is.
You don't give us your name, but you say sugar industry dead, cotton industry dead, pyrethrum industry, milk industry struggling, fish farming struggling, cashews, tea, coffee the same, Aror, Kimwarer, Thwake, Uma, Galana Kulalu, all white elephants. High time the government privatizes
The agriculture ministry.
The whole ministry.
The whole ministry?
That's a very interesting perspective.
Wow.
Right.
Jacoy will tell us what he thinks after the break.
Yeah, let's take a quick break. Keep your SMSs coming 22422. You can also tweet at Citizen TV Kenya, Trevor Mbija, at Wega Moura, at Zinzike. The hashtag we're using is Daybreak. Keep your voices coming through. We'll read some of them at the tail end. Now we come back to the solutions. What do we do from here?